Welcome to the podcast where we challenge the way you see food. I'm your host, Ariane Bozarth, a board-certified nutrition specialist and founder of ASO Nutrition. I'll make you question everything you thought you knew about diets and nutrition. Spoiler alert, all diets fail, and it's not your fault. Join me as we explore your body's bio-individual needs to finally put an end to the frustrating cycles of trial and error in chasing nutrition solutions. Nutrition isn't a one-size-fits-all, but you do have a biologically designed perfect fit. It's time to unlock your body's brilliance. Welcome back. Last time we talked about a different perspective on calories and looked at it from the body's lens to see if it was a valid metric for the body's use of food. We also explored how our relationship with food changed when this concept was introduced. This time I want to look at the other side of the same equation, the burn, the calories out, and the exercise relationship to nutrition. The question is, when it comes to our overall health, the driver of the state, The question is, when it comes to our overall health, the driver of that state, our genes, what does the body have to say about exercise? And one of the ways that we can look at this is through evaluating the effect of exercise on longevity, since this is a true measure of our health and wellness. Our cells' ability to continue to replicate successfully without dysfunction over a long period of time. And to do this, we'll explore exercise and its relationship to nutrition and longevity across two populations, professional athletes and billionaires. So let's start with athletes. We have been conditioned to think about exercise as a driving factor for achieving the physique and the performance of the body that we desire. And our golden standard of such achievement, our role models of success, are professional athletes. So based on this way of thinking, when it comes to the long-term benefits of working out, professional athletes whose job it is to work out and to leverage exercise daily for peak form should have the highest level of health and longevity compared to the average person. Because one would assume that if exercise was essential to longevity as a marker of sustained cellular health, then those that do it more should live longer. Would you agree? So what if I told you that the research tells us otherwise? Let's look at the research by Dr. Wallach on this topic. And to give a little background for the listeners and the credibility of this research, Dr. Wallach is regarded as one of the first practitioners, if not the founders, of the science of epigenetics. And epigenetics, if you aren't aware, is the mechanism by which gene expression gets altered other than changes in the DNA sequence. And this field of science gave rise to our understanding that we have influence over 95% of our genes via epigenetic regulation through diet and lifestyle. And he's a naturopathic doctor with 3 postdoctorates in pathology and a professor of nutrition and over 75 years of expertise in health, nutrition, and medical research, to include research at the National Health Institute of Health. Dr. Wallach conducted analysis of the studies regarding athletes and longevity, and he actually could not find a single study that showed increased exercise resulted in longevity. He also discovered in his research that not a single professional athlete has been recorded as living over 100 years of age. In fact, as a population, there's a decrease in life expectancy, with a higher than average number dying between 30 and 60 years of age. Now I want you to close your eyes for a second and picture in your mind a heavy-set man sitting on a couch, someone who is completely sedentary. And then I want you to picture a male professional athlete sitting on a workout bench holding a dumbbell. If you hold these pictures in your mind side by side, which individual do you think is healthier? If we base the view of health alone on physique, then looking at these two individuals, most of us would say the athlete is healthier. However, based on Dr. Wallach's research, they might actually be two sides of the same coin. I know, you're probably thinking that's impossible, but follow with me from the body's lens and I'll show you how this could be. Dr. Wallach found that athletes sweat more in 5 years than a completely sedentary person does in 75 years. And this results in a continuous loss of essential minerals. Specifically, 60 out of the 102 essential minerals that we need for daily function are lost through sweating alone. These minerals being called essential means we have to get them in through our diet and intake to replenish our stores. And over time, if these are not replenished, this is going to have a significant impact on metabolic function, which will then impair genetic regulation, and ultimately over time will impact our longevity. Therefore, from a body perspective, both of these individuals are lacking, working at a deficit of what the body needs to achieve optimal health and longevity. One out of balance is clearly expressed on the outside, but the other you cannot see. It is masked by the physical form that we associate with health. And what the body at the cell level tells us, health is not always what meets the eye. Furthermore, when we push the body through working out, we increase our energy demand and our nutrient need. This is the case of the athlete sweating approximately 60% of their minerals out needed for daily function. This is the case of the athlete sweating out approximately 60% of the minerals needed for daily function. Additionally, exercise leads to a rise in the creation of reactive oxygen species. These are pro-oxidants, and if not mitigated, can have harmful effects on our cells' homeostasis, or balance, structures, and functions. And this is designed to be temporary. And with the right amount of antioxidants, this is easily mitigated and eliminated. For example, many minerals serve as antioxidants. So when minerals become depleted, other nutrients step up to the plate, such as vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and B vitamins, as well as those minerals, specifically copper, zinc, and selenium. And if these are not replenished, then this leads to broad nutrient deficiencies and more impacts at the cell level. And just for reference, we need 90 essential nutrients every single day and 102 minerals for our body to function optimally. And what is interesting is that the selenium deficiency is linked with cardiovascular disease. And this may be one of the underlying roots to the increased mortality rate that Dr. Wallach found between the ages of 30 and 60 in his athletes. In fact, some clinical nutritionists have reported high-performing athletes need over 30,000 milligrams of vitamin C to maintain performance and prevent illness in peak windows of competition. That is over 15 times the RDA. And although this is an extreme example, it just shows that the body's need for balance and replenishment of nutrients is what enables the high performance without detriment on health, especially long-term health, such as longevity. Now let's go back to the sedentary individual that wants to start losing weight through increasing exercise without addressing absorption and nutrient repletion first. From the body's lens, this person will go from an adaptive state of storing energy in fat cells to increasing demand for energy creation. Not only will this increase the requirement for nutrients and cofactors to create energy, or ATP, that we talked about in depth in our last session related to calories in, but it will also signal fat stores to release and break down, which then actually exposes any toxins stored within the fat tissue. The sedentary individual now trying to push the body has unwittingly created a flood of pro-oxidants that demand a high level of antioxidants such as vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and B vitamins, as well as a pull on cellular stores of antioxidant minerals such as copper, zinc, and selenium. This is the same as the athlete, but just a different lens. The oxidative stress is coming from stored toxins as opposed to pushing on the body through exercise. And if we go back to the selenium example, selenium is needed for detoxification pathways. And if it isn't available and the body can't eliminate the toxins, then the body will be forced to store toxins away in fat tissue, where they are safe and can't cause harm. This is where the weight rebound can be seen in people that have weight to lose and hit that plateau. And in this person's case, a low state of selenium is leading to weight loss resistance, and in time can also lead to the effect of increased cardiovascular risk. So as you can see, if both of these individuals are two extremes from the body's perspective, one is pushing hard with exercise and has a very high demand, and one is not leveraging exercise at all but can't access stored energy, and when they do, it actually puts them also in a state of very high energy demand. Both are likely to be in a depleted state and causing their body to pull from reserves that over time can lead to impacts on long-term health and longevity. And here's why. As we talked about last time in our calories in, our body runs on nutrients. All nutrients are utilized for various roles in the body. They serve as raw materials for building the cells of the body, but also they are factors, cofactors, and coenzymes, essential catalysts for our biochemical and metabolic function that is all fueled by ATP. Some of the most essential nutrients and cofactors of the body for metabolic function are minerals. Just look at the selenium comparison. And this is just one of the 102 minerals that we need for daily function. And in the case of selenium, the sedentary individual, if there isn't enough available, then the body can't detoxify and will store the toxins away in fat cells, keeping them in this imbalanced state of health. And in the case of the athlete, the body will pull from other cells, and the organs in the body that take the biggest hit in the function is the organ that requires the most minerals and is the most electrically active, the heart. Epigenetic research backs up these findings. Recent studies into biological age of cells and epigenetic clocks, or the multiple factors that drive gene expression, reveal that when it comes to health, cell health, and optimal function across all tissues, exercise alone has a weak benefit. Some studies have even found that as a monotherapy or a single change only, exercise has no impact on epigenetic regulation. Instead, they found that cell health and optimal function, think fully resourced with all the required nutrients, is what drives or suspends epigenetic age acceleration and the ability to see the gains from exercise. What this example shows is that physical form alone is not an indicator of health, and more output does not equal health unless it is matched by the replenishment of essential nutrients. More importantly, health plus optimal physique is dependent upon your nutrient status first. So let's move on to look at the billionaire research. Why look at billionaires and longevity? Well, because as a group, they spend more annually for healthcare and fitness than any other group. So if they have access to the best trainers that money can buy, then these individuals should also have higher levels of health and longevity compared to the average person. Would you agree? But in early 2000, a Forbes magazine article found that the average American billionaire's lifespan was 78 years of age, and none had lived to be over 100 years. They did a follow-up in 2011, and Forbes found that there was actually a 12-year drop in average lifespan of billionaires to 66 years of age. So what do you think is different about billionaires to the average person? Many would say that in addition to exercise, billionaires are under a lot of physiological stress. As we know, when under high stress, the body creates cortisol. But this process also has a high nutrient need for vitamins such as B vitamins, especially B1, B5, B6, B9, and B12, vitamin C, and minerals such as calcium, chromium, magnesium, vanadium, and zinc. And just as in the case of the athlete, stress can also lead to a rise in reactive oxygen species. And if these nutrients are not replenished daily, if the stress is daily, then the body will tap into stores. And when this goes on for a long time without repletion, then it will impact the vitality of the cell and will certainly impact longevity. And here's why. This is because the imbalance of robbing from our cells, our own cells, to meet our nutrient needs has a finite number of responses before it begins to impact our metabolic and potentially even genetic pathways. Every action in the body requires nutrients, such as cofactors and coenzymes, to function properly. Because it is not exercise that reverses or balances genetic mutations, it is nutrient status. And when we are young, the toxin load and the pull from reserves is less. This means we have increased resilience and our ability to maintain cell health and function despite insults. Therefore, it is not the aging process itself that diminishes the capacity. It is the duration of our exposure to high toxic load and lack of reserves, think years of not replenishing, that decreases the resilience to maintain cell health and actually impacts our longevity. This supports the idea that you need to get a certain threshold of metabolic balance via nutrients and replenishment daily to see the benefits from exercise. Whether you want to use exercise like the chiseling tool to fine-tune and shape the body, or you want to use it to get into peak performance. However you want to use this tool of exercise, it requires nutrition first to see the full benefit. Exercise, physical prowess, and performance is the gift of optimal intake, balanced metabolism, and healthy thriving, and well-communicating cells. So what does this mean? If you get the nutrition right first, then the body can show you what it is truly capable of in terms of exercise as well as for the long run in terms of longevity. What the nutrition looks like is unique. What that nutrition looks like is unique. Every body has its own code and its own Every body has its own code and its own I can't hang on just a second. Every body has its own code and its own prioritization of nutrients. So when it comes to food, how do you know what you need to function at your highest? You may not know, but your body does. And if you lack body food knowledge, then you are missing the specific nutrients that drive your system every day to find health, high performance, vibrance, and longevity. All the things that your body is literally designed to provide. So applying it at home. If you are looking for a body interpreter to learn for yourself what you need to have the physical performance and endurance that you desire without the cost of longevity, then we are here for you at ASO Nutrition. We actually can get all the way into your nutrigenomic profile, your body's master design and its code, and from that you build on that template the specific nutrients that will lead your body to thriving. Thank you for listening. If you're ready for a journey of self-discovery through unlearning everything you thought you knew about diets, nutrition, and how it informs your health, and relearning from the perspective of your body's brilliance, then I invite you to join me next time as we continue to challenge the way you see food. Want to connect? Email us at info@theaso.com, THEACESO.com. And be sure to visit us at www.theaso.com, THEACESO, where you can find all of our latest podcasts, blogs, masterclasses, and services to bring your health journey via nutrition to the next level and based on your biologically designed perfect fit.